At first, everyone assumed it was some freak eclipse. The sky dimmed around 10 a.m., and people stood in their driveways with phones pointed upward. There were no clouds, no moon, just a growing darkness swallowing the blue. But eclipses don't last all day, or 3. The emergency alert hit our phones around 8 p.m. that first night. Emergency alert. Federal Emergency Management Agency. National Weather and Space Anomaly Response. Issued 8:03 p.m. EST. The sun has been obscured by an unidentified astronomical phenomenon. Remain indoors. Conserve energy. Avoid staring at the sky. Do not trust unmarked voices outside your home. Do not attempt to contact the sun. That last line stuck in my brain like a sliver of glass. Do not attempt to contact the sun. What the hell did that even mean? By the second day, panic started to spread. Temperature dropped fast. Flashlights, canned food, backup generators. People wiped the shelves clean. The power grid flickered. Cell towers began to fail. I lost contact with my sister in Vermont. My neighbor, Mrs. Halvers, stood in her yard screaming at the sky until her voice gave out. By the third night, I saw something move in the field behind my house. There's no light left, just the cold glow of my emergency lantern and the whispering static of my battery-powered radio. No birds, no insects, no moon, no stars. Just blackness pressing against my windows like it's alive. The radio station I've been tuning into went dead an hour ago. The last thing the host said was, "It's not that the sun is gone, it's something else took its place." Then silence, then static, then a voice, not the host. Lower, rough, wrong. "We are not here for you yet." I shut it off and threw a blanket over the radio. There's something outside. I heard it again, like dragging footsteps and something wet, breathing. I peeked through the blinds. There was no light, but I swear I saw a silhouette. Tall, wrong-shaped. It was humming. No stars, no dawn, no birds. The sky is still black, and I don't think it's going to change. Not ever. And now there's a knock at the door. They're whispering my name, my real name, but I live alone, and I never told anyone I was still here. The knock came again. Slower this time. Knock, knock, knock. Then silence. I didn't move. I barely breathed. Every survival instinct in me screamed not to answer, not to look, not to even acknowledge the sound. But the whisper came next, low and oily, sliding under the door like smoke. "You don't have to hide. The sun is listening through you." The air in the room felt heavier after it said that. I could hear the foundation creak, like the whole house was groaning under some invisible pressure. I backed away from the door, keeping the lantern low. It flickered, briefly, just long enough for the shadows in the hallway to twitch, in ways they shouldn't have. I locked the door, even though I knew it wouldn't matter. If whatever was out there wanted in, it could come through the walls. I stumbled into the kitchen and switched on my emergency radio again. Static. Then, a voice, familiar but too calm. "If you're still receiving this broadcast, you are advised to keep all windows covered. Do not engage with voices that claim to be from loved ones. Do not speak of the sun. Do not write about the sun. Do not think about the sun." My hand froze. Because I'd been doing all of that, I thought back to the emergency alert on day 1. Do not attempt to contact the sun. Maybe it wasn't just a precaution. Maybe it was a warning, like saying its name gave it permission. I stood there, numb, until I noticed something different, something wrong, in the reflection of the microwave door. My reflection was still staring at me, even after I turned away. I slowly looked back at the microwave, and my reflection didn't move. Didn't match. Its mouth started moving a split second after mine, out of sync, smiling, a long, stretched grin spreading wider than any human mouth should. Then it spoke. "You looked when you weren't supposed to. Now you're part of it. We're all part of it." The light died. Everything went black. And in the dark, I heard the doorknob turning, metal bending, not turning with fingers but with pressure, like something pushing from the other side. A final emergency alert hit my phone just before the battery died. Emergency update. The sun has been compromised. It is not a celestial body. It is a gate. Do not accept light from unfamiliar sources. They have breached the atmosphere. I think the knock is coming from inside the house now. I didn't run. I think part of me knew it wouldn't matter. Whatever had come in didn't break the door. It didn't open it either. It just stepped through. No sound, no wind. Just a wrongness, like the room forgot what normal meant. I crouched in the corner, clutching the dead lantern, heart slamming against my ribs like it wanted out of my chest. There were footsteps, wet, heavy, uneven. They didn't match anything human. Then a voice. No, not a voice. A mouth near my ear. We were here before the sun. We remember what darkness really is. I bolted. I don't remember grabbing the fire axe from the basement, but I came up the stairs with it, swinging blind. My living room was empty, dark but empty. The reflection in the microwave was gone. The door was wide open, but the sky wasn't black anymore. It was red, deep, suffocating red, like a wound that wouldn't clot. No stars, just that bleeding color and something shifting in it. Slow and massive, like an eye opening behind glass. It wasn't light. It wasn't warmth. It was awareness, and it was looking down. My phone buzzed one last time before its battery cooked itself and the screen turned to static. Final warning, GovSec 914. You are seen. Do not stare into the sky. Do not respond to echoes. Do not follow the light. The sun has been replaced, and it is hungry. That's when I heard my sister's voice. From the field, calling my name. She was supposed to be in Vermont. I stepped outside before I could stop myself. And there she was, or something wearing her, standing perfectly still in the red twilight, her mouth hanging slightly open, like she was waiting to be rebooted. Her voice echoed even when she didn't speak. Come home. You've been gone too long. The sun wants you to rest. Behind her, in the red haze, I saw more figures, pale, human-shaped, but too tall, too still. Their feet didn't touch the ground, and every single one was facing me. The red sky pulsed once, and I felt something tear inside my head. A pressure, a hunger, like something wanted in or wanted out through me. I don't know if I'm still real. I don't know if I'm still writing this, or if this is just what it wants me to remember. But I'm going to the bunker below the high school, old Cold War place. If there's a chance to survive, it'll be there. I heard others might still be alive. Voices on the emergency band. If this gets out, if anyone's still reading this, don't look up. Not even once. The thing in the sky knows your name. I'm writing this by candlelight in the high school bunker. Not alone. Not anymore. There are 5 of us down here. 3 are silent. 1 won't stop crying, and 1 won't blink. The entrance was half collapsed when I arrived. Had to crawl over broken rebar and what I hope were just animal bones. The generator sputtered to life, just long enough for the heavy, blast doors to shut behind me. That's when the darkness came in with me. Not literal, psychological. Something followed. I found the others in the old band room, huddled between crates of stale MREs and mold-eaten textbooks. No one said a word when I came in, just stared at me, evaluating, like they were trying to decide if I was real. I didn't blame them. I wasn't sure either. One of them, Natalie, I think, finally whispered, "Did you see it? The new sun?" I didn't answer. I didn't need to. We all saw it. Red sky, floating figures, the constant sense that something ancient is watching. It doesn't move fast, it doesn't need to. It changes the world by being perceived. It remakes us slowly. It whispers in our memories. We've all heard the same things. The sun is not gone. It's just awake now. What you knew before was the lid. Now it wants inside. The bunker walls are covered in carvings. Not by us, they were here before. Someone else survived here once and went insane. Spirals, eyes, symbols that burn when you look at them too long. One of the silent men, Paul, I think, keeps tracing one of the symbols with his finger like it's a prayer. He hasn't spoken once, but his shadow moves on its own. Natalie told me the radio still picks up something every few hours. Not voices, not weather, just breathing, heavy, layered breathing. And once it spoke, all 5 heard it. We are here because you asked. You looked too long. You made a door, and now it will not close. There's a theory going around down here, that the sun didn't vanish. We invited something in by trying to study it, by trying to name it, by staring too long at the edges of reality. One of us is missing now, the one who wouldn't blink. He's gone, and in his place is a perfect replica, but it won't stop smiling. We don't sleep anymore. Outside, the red sky is throbbing like a heartbeat. The earth is getting softer, and the emergency alerts have stopped. That's what scares me the most, because it means they don't think we're alive anymore. And maybe we're not. We sealed the smiling one in the gymnasium. It didn't resist. It just stood there, grinning, eyes like polished glass, too reflective, too empty. It whispered something as we welded the door shut. You brought the light with you. You always were its seed. Paul started screaming when the door closed. Not words, just noise. We had to sedate him with expired meds we found in the nurse's office. But that didn't stop his shadow from writhing against the floor like it was trying to crawl away. Natalie thinks it's only a matter of time before it finds a way in again. Not the thing in the gym, the sun. Only it's not just in the sky anymore. She showed me her arm last night. Under her skin, something glowing was pulsing, like a second heart had taken root. She's terrified, says she hears it humming when everything else goes quiet. The others are deteriorating, hallucinations, bleeding from the eyes, dreaming about a staircase buried beneath the sun. One guy tried to gouge out his own reflection in the bathroom mirror. Before we smashed all the glass, there's no contact from the outside. We tried climbing the emergency hatch to the surface today just to check. Opened it with a crank and peeked through a slit in the blast door. The sky is no longer red. It's white, not bright, just blank, featureless. The kind of white that feels like staring into bone. And in that silence we heard singing, thousands of voices, humming in harmony, off-key, mechanical, growing louder the longer you listen. Natalie passed out. Paul vomited black liquid. I slammed the hatch shut and prayed for the first time in 10 years. We think that's not the sky anymore. We think it's the inside of something's eye, and it's waiting for one of us to open wide and let it in. I've started blacking out, waking up in different rooms. Notes written in my handwriting say things I don't remember writing. You are already facing the wrong direction. They live inside the language now. Every time you think about the sun, it gets closer. Natalie's gone, just gone. Her clothes are still here, but folded neatly, like something stepped out of them. The last thing she said to me was, "The sun isn't gone. It's waking up inside us." Paul hasn't moved in hours, but his shadow has started smiling. I don't know how much longer I can hold on, but if you're reading this, if anyone's left, whatever's in the sky isn't a star. It's a mouth, and it's learning how to speak. The generator died this morning. No more light, just flickering candles and the pale green glow of Paul's skin. Yes, glow. It started last night, like veins of phosphorescent algae under his flesh. He's still not talking, but he doesn't need to. His shadow is doing that for him now. It stopped mimicking him. Now it stands beside him. Not a silhouette, a shape thin, elongated, and wrong, like a spider built out of smoke and bones. It crouches at his side and whispers into his ear. And Paul smiles. There are only two of us left now. Paul and me. The smiling thing in the gym got out last night. I know because I found Natalie's eyes lined up perfectly outside the band room. Still wet, still blinking. Her voice is in the vents now, singing the same off-key lullaby from the sky. The radio turned itself back on about an hour ago. The same broadcast, looping. Emergency Resolution Protocol 0. The sun is no longer a celestial object. The sun is no longer external. All light is compromised. Do not carry the sun within you. Do not listen to its name. Do not speak its truth. You are the last surface. Then a long silence. Then a new voice. Not human, not alien, just hungry. One of you has been chosen. One of you will open the mouth. Paul's eyes turned solid white after that. No irises, no pupils, just light. I locked myself in the old janitor's closet. But I hear him dragging something heavy through the hallway now. Metal scraping across tile, wet footsteps, and his shadow skittering. I think I'm next. I think he's going to cut me open. Not to kill me, to let it out. Because I feel it now too. In my chest, in my teeth, in the pit of my spine. The hum, the rhythm, the light. There's no sun in the sky anymore. Because it's here, in me. The final truth is crawling up my throat, scratching to be said aloud. And once I say it, I know I'll stop being me. I'll just be another mouth, another voice in the new daylight. I woke up on the gym floor. The lights were on. Not electric, bioluminescent. Pulsing from the walls, the floor, the bodies. Paul was sitting at center court, naked and cross-legged, surrounded by a ring of skin. Human skin, folded and pressed flat like clothing tags. His eyes were gone. In their place, tiny suns spun in their sockets, orbiting each other like twin comets made of fire and teeth. He was singing. We are all reflections now. We are all sunrise, waiting to peel. I couldn't move at first. My limbs were numb. My skin itched. When I looked down, I saw patterns etched into my arms. Sunbursts, carved with surgical precision, filled with something alive, something glowing faintly beneath, the surface like a nest of fireflies trapped under glass. Paul looked at me, or at least turned his face toward me, and smiled so wide I heard his cheeks tear. You were the last seed. We needed you to grow the final mouth. Then he stood, and something crawled out of his shadow. It wasn't smoke this time. It had mass, fingers, faces. It moved like it remembered being human. It reached for me, and I ran. I don't remember how I got out of the school, only that the front doors were open now. And outside, the world was quiet. Not dark, not light. Just a gray void like the earth was wrapped in gauze. Buildings half melted, trees bent toward the sky like they were praying. The sky was no longer sky at all, just a dome of pale flesh, stretched and twitching, veins, movement, eyes, thousands of them, all focused downward. On me, I walked for what felt like hours. The world didn't change. No sun, no moon. Just that pulsing, fleshy sky and the distant echo of Paul's voice in the wind. Then, another phone alert. My phone was dead. It had been dead for days. But it rang anyway. And on the screen in bold red text, "Emergency override, final transmission. The sun is now internal. Do not look inward. Do not speak its true name. The mouth is open. You are the light now." And below that, "Begin broadcast when YN." My thumb is hovering over the screen. It's trembling, because I know what it means. If I press yes, I won't be me anymore. I'll be it. I'll be the transmission. I'll carry the new light. I'll become the sun, and I can feel it inside me now, scratching at my ribs, eager to speak through my mouth. But what if pressing no means I rot here alone, unfinished? What if pressing yes is mercy? I don't know what to do. I think the sun is waiting for me to decide. I didn't press yes. I threw the phone across the ground, watched it crack against the concrete. The screen fizzled, and for the first time in days, I felt something like clarity. Like maybe the voice in my head wasn't mine. Maybe it never was. Then I noticed it. The noise. Not the singing sky or Paul's humming, machinery. A dull whirring like turbines behind the walls. I followed the sound. Down the hall, past the room where Natalie's clothes still sat, to a supply closet sealed behind a steel panel. Looked like a wall until I kicked it. It clanged. I pried it open with a broken broom handle and found a staircase. Stainless steel. Clinical, not school-built, not old. Hidden. I descended in silence, 60, maybe 70 feet down, until I reached a white hallway. Flickering fluorescent lights, cameras in every corner, doors labeled test chamber A, B, C, and then an observation room. Inside, screens. Hundreds of them, each showing a bunker, each showing people. Another screen, Paul staring into a mirror that reflected nothing. Another, Natalie, walking in slow circles, muttering about the sky. There were labels, numbers. Control environment 73. Subject memory layer 3, sun event. Response to manufactured isolation exposure. That's when I understood. None of it was real. There was no entity in the sky. No cosmic sun mind. We were part of a government experiment, or worse, private. A test. We weren't survivors. We were data. The emergency alerts, scripts, timed psychological pressure points, meant to guide our behavior. The sky didn't go dark. We were underground the whole time. They kept us there for months, fed us simulations, tracked our dreams, watched who cracked, who turned violent, who listened to the sun inside. And I had been one of the successful triggers. I sat in front of a console, hands shaking. I could end it, or at least expose it. One monitor still showed the outside world. Normal, daylight, people walking. Planes in the sky. Life as usual. They hadn't stopped the sun. They just stopped it for us. A final message blinked on the screen. Protocol complete. 100% subject collapse. Prepare for reset. Then gas hissed from the vents. I covered my mouth, ran, back up, past the halls, up the stairs, back into the school. But everything was different now. Fluorescent lights on, clean floors, no blood, no bones. Even the gym doors were open, and inside, rows of computers, desks, men in suits. One turned to look at me, surprised, impressed. "You made it to the monitor room," he said. "Not many do." I screamed, lunged at him. He didn't flinch. "You should be proud," he said. "You just helped us design the next generation of psychological warfare." I'm still here. I don't know if they'll kill me or wipe my memory and throw me back in. But if anyone finds this, we didn't lose the sun. We lost control. And they've figured out how to bottle madness. They just need a few more test subjects.